They walk in the door, ding, ding. Sup? What you doing? Looking at bikes. What bikes you like? That one? Cool. You want to buy it? Yeah. Let me get your info. You're approved. That work? Cool. Sign here. 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 Initial here. Sign here. Here. One last time. Here. I need your credit card. Swipe. Sign here. Here. We're good, man. Congratulations.
Do I get to ring the bell?
Ring the bell.
I get to ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we are going to talk about the beginner's guide to buying your motorcycle. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pretend I'm a beginner and I've never bought a motorcycle at a dealership before. And I want to buy it from Indian Motorcycle Tucson, so I'm going to go buy it from Matt. I want to buy an Indian Scout, and then I bought this hooligan kit from RSD just recently. I bought the hooligan kit. It's on its way. It's on credit, so I haven't really paid for it. I can always return it.
It's on the credit.
On the credits. So what we're going to do is I want to buy a bike. I want to buy an Indian Scout, so I'm going to walk into the dealership, and I have no idea what I'm buying. So Dwayne, Maori, if you're looking at a touring bike, so let's pretend this is your first time ever getting a bike. Let's jump into my shoes, and I'm walking into the store, mm-hmm. the dealership. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called. I'm a beginner. Mm-hmm. So I walk in, and I see a shit ton of bikes. I have no idea what the hell I'm looking at.
You already said you were looking to buy a Scout.
Yeah, but that was what my friend wanted me to buy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he's like, you should buy the hooligan kit. And I'm like, I'm not a hooligan, bro. So
okay.
I just walk in, and he's not there to help me out. What's up, testifiable? So he's not there to help me out. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to walk around. I have my hands in my pockets. I'm like, what do I do? What are you going to do?
I'm going to say hi.
You're going to say hi to me. All right.
Hello.
I'm going to be like, hey, what's up, man? I'm nervous, man. I'm fucking nervous. That's how I was when I went and got into the Sportster and everything. What is it that the dealership should do? I should say, because some dealerships are not very good.
No, they're not. I mean, a lot of the time you just want to be helpful. You mm-hmm. know, like there's some dealerships that they're there, you know, just because they have to be, or they're just looking for a paycheck and stuff like that. Like it's all motorcycles, and it's fun, and we all know how it feels to ride motorcycles. So that's it's neat. So I think a big thing for us at the dealership level, when somebody comes in and they're looking for a bike and they're pretty novice to everything, mm-hmm. Is to try to figure out what they're after. So you know, not only just like what kind of bike they're after, but how they're going to ride, what the goal is, what your future is, stuff like that, what interests you. Because most people, when they start, they have something in mind. You know, they have something in mind, whether or not, like, I love the look of the sport bike, but is it the right bike for me? Like, is it the bike that I'm set out to do? Like, I want to tour the country. So should I be on an R1? Probably not. So I think when you first initially, you know, speak to folks that are brand new to it, I think the goal is to figure out what they're really after. Okay,
so that's your point of view. So when I walk in and you would ask a question like, what is it you want to do? Mm-hmm. Like just something simple, but like behind that question, there's all that. Yeah, so that's good to know. So like if I was a customer, I have a feeling, okay, well that's the stuff I should find out. Yeah. So I should find out if I want to go long distance, if I want to just ride in town. Yep. So when I walk into the dealership, I'll be able to answer those questions and maybe walk out a bike with like that day.
I mean, the goal is to find the right motorcycle for the guy who's coming in looking for the bike.
Not
we
necessarily.
don't want to sell him the wrong bike. We want you to be happy. We want you to be excited. We want you and you're spending money. You know, either way, at the end of the day, you're spending money that you earned to spend money, and we're happy you're spending it with us, but we want you to buy the right bike. So if it's a brand new bike and you're new to it, then that goes back to like the beginner level bike and what you're after, and what you're saying. You know, if it's a bike that you're, you know, it's just a stepping stone that you're going to keep for a year, like that's something we want to know too. Mm-hmm. So the goal is to find exactly what this bike is supposed to do for you.
This is a good checklist. Like, this is something that we could actually come up with and like have a checklist of before you go into the dealership. This is some good.
Totally.
Yeah, like that'd be really awesome.
It's not every time that it happens. Like, some people walk into the dealership and they have this kind of thought process behind them, and they know what kind of motorcycle, at least what kind, at least what type, not brand.
So you're talking about like
type of
cruiser, sport bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Versus, I mean, there are some guys that are like, man, I've never been in a dealership ever in my life. I have no idea what any of these bikes do. Those are the guys that are like, okay, well, then we roll out what our bikes are, and what kind of bikes are out there, and what all these different motorcycles do. And at that point, something triggers in their mind. Well, oh, that sounds like something that I'd be more interested in versus doing a track day on my sport bike.
So
something like that.
I was gonna say a lot of it is that you're the knowledgeable person, and you're giving not leading the questions and leading the thought process, but you're kind of triggering like, oh, well, then, yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, you're actually doing the education part too. So it's a lot of people that would ask me is like, man, salespeople just want to sell a bike. Like, that's what I'm worried about when I walk in. It's like salespeople just want to sell me whatever bike they think I can afford, and then boom, that's it. And
I mean, there should be absolutely no question that these salespeople want to make a sale.
Yeah.
You know, like you shouldn't go into it thinking, oh, they're just trying to sell me something, because they absolutely want to. But the majority of folks, at least I think, they want you to buy the right bike. You know, like, they don't want to just sell you the wrong bike. I don't like the car world. The car world, there's no emotion there. Like, you're buying a car.
It seems like that.
They don't give a damn at all. You know, it's just a very, very different experience. You know, where motorcycles, it's just different. These people that ride motorcycles, all of us, we have a different mentality. And it's the reason why we ride bikes. Is there's just a little more intimacy involved with riding.
It really is
driving a Honda Civic. So we, I'm not saying
Honda
that you
Civics
people
are
that
nice
drive
nowadays.
Honda Civics
are nice nowadays, dude. I like the hatchback a little bit. I like the hatchback.
You Honda Civic dudes are all right. But
CRX,
especially if you're a hatchback, I like that rear end.
So like when I'm to jump back in is like I walk in, there's so much. That's why salesmen have that training, I'm sure, because by being knowledgeable of the motorcycle industry is very important to actually be a salesman and actually enjoy what you're doing. Because I mean, if you just walk in, it's like, I need to make a sale because I need to make commission, you're going to be a shitty salesman. So if you actually work with the person and what they want to do, I think that's important. So like, I walk in and I'm like, I like cruisers. I heard Indian's good. I already walked into Harley. They have some cool bikes, but I want to shop around because, that's just, I want to be smart about what I'm going to buy. And I'm like, I really like the smaller one. It's like, I like the Sportster. I didn't like the bigger bikes. And I'm using this as an example. It's like, I like the Sportsters because they're smaller. Do you have anything like a Sportster? And then you would go on, and so that would kind of put you in that direction of where to go, right?
Of course.
So yeah. You wouldn't be showing me like a big ass bike then.
No. Okay. I mean, we would go to Scouts, and then we would show you, hey, this bike is really similar. And then we break it down, what it's about, what the differences are, what the similarities are, what the, how it's going to relate to what you want. And by then, it's not something that we learn. We don't learn everything about you in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true.
It takes time to figure it out and to make sure you're on the right machine. But it is something that comes pretty quickly, especially if you're there, because you're looking at stuff. Automatically, we all want what looks good to our eye. Yeah. You know what I mean? So immediately, regardless of what it is, if we think it looks cool, we automatically gravitate to that. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, as salesmen or anybody really that gives a shit is going to try to understand what it's about. Oh man, that BMW, that S1000 RR or whatever the hell that thing is, that and it's an incredible bike.
It's a fucking powerful bike.
I look at that and I'm like, man. But is it something that I need or I want or that's what I should buy?
I was like, no. If I'm like out here and I'm like, I just want to cruise around town, I don't need a fucking 1000 RR.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it takes time to figure out exactly what you're after. You know, if you're a guy who says, hey, man, I want to be able to cross, state lines and go wherever I want. The weird thing about that one is that there's all these bikes nowadays that are being built right now are capable of doing whatever the hell you want them to.
It's that's what's crazy about that.
It's just how your body holds up. You know what I mean? So if we were to take a trip to Florida, you and I both would be a hell of a lot more comfortable on a Roadmaster.
I'd like to sit on the back of that bike with you.
On a Scout.
You can ride.
Your butt's too big.
And I'll sit on the bike. And then if you get tired, I'll take over.
Shock.
I'll take. Shut up! That would be awesome. Let's do it. Let's do it. You buy it. Okay. So anyways, we're going to move on to that part where so all that is small talk. So all that small talk, getting to know the customer, getting to know like I'm interested in bikes. I walked into the dealership. So I already told you I looked at Harley. I'm here. I want a cruiser. I don't really want, like a Honda or whatever. So I'm like, cool. I really like the sport or the Scout. You showed me the Scout. Mm-hmm. I really like the Scout. You told me all the differences. And I mean, it could be at the Harley dealership. It could be at the the Honda dealership. And I'm like, okay, I like it. So cool. So now I have to go buy it. And I've been through this process recently, and that was with the Honda Rebel 500. Mm-hmm. And I just I just followed what the salesperson was telling me to do. Like they're like, hey, we're gonna go check your credit. I'm like, all right, cool, boom, boom, signing some paperwork. Like I didn't know what I was doing. So like I didn't know what I was supposed to be prepared for. I was just super excited to get Nikki on the bike.
Sure.
And so like what I want to do is I want to prepare some of these viewers of like, okay, I want to get a bike, but what are the options can I do? Can I just like leave? And I'd be like, hey, can I think about it?
Totally.
And like, what are you going to do? Are you going to ask for like contact information, or are you going to?
Yeah. Yeah. So, the nice part about what we do, and not even what I do professionally, but as a consumer, if I go in somewhere to buy it, mm-hmm. I have every opportunity to say, hey, I'm going to think about this. Like nobody can put a gun to your head and say, hey, you're going to buy it. Oh, I mean, it depends. Some people are impulsive. So, you know what I mean? I can't tell people, that's tough. Some people know exactly what they want and they come in and they don't have to think about it because they know exactly what they want.
This is for you, Dan. Just saying thank you.
There are some folks out there that it's probably necessary that they think about it to make sure they're making the right decision. But the big thing about right decisions are that's what we're there for. So we help with the research. We help with answering questions. We help with trying to make sure that this is the right bike. And once we figure out that this is the right bike and we've come to that conclusion and it's the right bike, then it's a matter of making sure that it's the right time. And everything works, for you. So I think for the most part, a lot of people, if they're in the dealership, they're pretty damn close or they're getting ready.
Okay.
And it's just a matter of finding the right bike, and then it's got to be the right time. So money and stuff like that. I mean, like right now we're getting close to, or we're like in tax time. So people are doing their taxes.
They're going to want to
get a refund. Guess what refund means? It means free money.
Yeah, they're going to want to get a bike.
In order to do like money down or to come in and pay cash if you have 30 kids. Because they make a ton of money. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah,
trust me, it happens.
Oh yeah. So I mean that's the big thing. But yeah, you can absolutely walk out the dealership and think about things, and then call me tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like or call me next week. So dealerships, we're gonna, we'll try to make sure. The whole point of me and our job is to figure out what the right bike is, and once we figure out, what is the reason? Like when are you going to buy it? Like what's holding you back? You know what I mean? So because a lot of people say, oh man, I need money down. Like I know I need money down to buy this bike, but there are a ton of lenders and banks that'll give you loans with zero down.
Yeah.
And so as us working, and if that's your issue, I need zero down. I mean, I might be able to get you zero down.
Yeah. So,
and if that works, then
I was gonna say your job is to find. So let's say I want to buy a bike, and I'm like, I want the Scout 60. This is gonna be a perfect beginner bike. Because I remember somebody saying,
Scout 60 is a great beginner bike.
Somebody was asking about that. I think I want to scroll up, but I lost it somewhere.
Or somebody here.
Yeah, somebody here asked about the Scout 60, if it's a good beginner bike, or even the Scout. The Scouts are great bikes. So let's say I walk in and I'm like, man, I really want the Scout 60. It's got a lot of power. But at the same time, it's got an easy power. It feels good. I sit on it. It feels great. I have the money. I've been looking at it for months because somebody here said, Joshua says some of us spend months looking at bikes before going in.
Right.
So let's say I walk in. This is like my 10th time walking into Indian. This is my 10th time walking into Harley, and the 12th time looking at Ride Now or whatever, looking at some Hondas. And I'm like, you know what? I've sat on this bike many times. I love it. I want to sit. I want to buy it. So now it's like, okay, well, now that you want to buy it, what is that mode that switches for you to where it's like now you have to get like my information? Like, what is it you're asking for?
Yeah. So now it's time to figure out how you're going to buy it.
Okay.
So do you need a loan?
So for me at this point, I'm going to need a loan. This is my first bike. I do have like a car, but this is something that I want to like play around with and have fun. First time riding. I do have some cash, not a lot.
Right. So at that point, we get your information, because we're going to get you a loan. Like I'm gonna send you to a bank. We're gonna get an approval.
Damn, that's some good shit, dude.
And then it's so good. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna get we'll get the approval, and then once I have that, I'm gonna go over the numbers with you.
Okay.
And then you're gonna ask me, okay, well, how much down? What are my payments? What's the interest rate?
All right.
Stuff like that. And then we're gonna tell you everything, and then we're gonna go over it all, and then you make a decision. So you're like, oh man, that's not enough. That's too much money down.
Yeah.
And if you tell me that, then I can look at it, and there may be, if that bank requires too much money down, the next bank may not require that much.
Okay, so it's your job is to find the banks. Like because I remember when I was at the dealership to get the Honda Rip 500. Like they're like, all right, this is gonna take a little bit. So just do you want something to eat? Do you want this? Do you want to just sit down on the couch or whatever, or sit on the chairs and I gotta check all this stuff. So during all that, you're checking for different banks and you're checking for different like trying to find me the best deal. Like that's what your job is.
Yeah, well, that's part of my job.
It's part of your job. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I do. You do a bunch of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no.
So the first part, yeah, because I'm like walking around for like 45 minutes, like looking at bikes, having a good time.
And you're hanging out with the salesman.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with the salesman.
And then when you get to the point that you do a credit application, that goes into the finance office.
Okay.
The finance guys are the guys that sit there in front of their computer and they're just like mashing the keyboard and sending out everybody's information. Beer. No beer.
Oh,
beer? No.
Well, we got beer here, so I don't give a fuck.
No, that's a beer. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
And so, and they're probably, if a big dealership like that, those guys are probably working on like 6 other people. So they're just hammering stuff out and they're doing it. They get the approval. They think they have, a good one. And then they go out, and if it's not good enough, then they go somewhere else to try to get you a better one. So for me, I'm able to look at your credit report and your credit score.
Okay.
And it gives me an idea of where I need to send you to get you the best possible, whatever the hell we need.
Yeah.
There's so many different factors with buying it. Do I need 0 down? Do I need a short rate? There's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, because I remember being asked, do you want to do 3 years, 5 years, or like
right.
They gave me those options.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and so once I have it, and then I go out and I say, hey, this is what I have. That's your opportunity to tell me that doesn't work. This is what works.
Okay.
I need $2,000 down for you to buy this Scout. Oh man, I only have 1,000. Okay, well, if we trim your money down a little bit, then your payment is going to go up. Well, I'm comfortable with a little bit of higher payment.
Mm-hmm.
I only have $1,000, and that's all I got. And at that point, then I know exactly what we can do to figure it out and get you a loan. So once I come back out with, hey, I got you $1,000 down and your payment's good to go and it's everything you want, you say, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so if I'm like, let's do it. And I know a lot of beginners are out there that, like, especially me when I first bought my bike. Okay, so let's say, because I was able to do my first bike, I had to get a cosigner. I had to get my dad. My dad co-signed for my bike, and that was pretty cool. Yeah, my credit sucked at this time. I was getting divorced. If everyone knows my story on that one, I was getting divorced.
Man.
Matt, you showed up with Brody.
What?
You showed up with Brody. You're like,
I did.
yeah, you're all excited
Brody and I
for
were
me.
there.
You're getting all excited for me. You're like,
I got a friend that rides.
He's like, he's gonna ride now. And so, anyways, I had to get my dad to co-sign, which he's been saving my ass. He had to co-sign for my house too. Anyways, because
Good job, Coral.
Coral. And but I didn't have an endorsement. I didn't have any experience. I've only sat on the motorcycle at that time. That was the first time ever being in Harley.
You got your endorsement before I did.
Oh shit, that's bad.
Remember that?
Yeah, you've been riding for a while.
I rode around for like a year on a permit.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, I had to convince you to get the endorsement, huh?
Yeah, because we were going out of town. You're like, man, we need to get it.
Yeah, that's true because you can't get on the
And I was like, all right, I'll go get it.
You can't ride on the highway without it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I walked in and I was like, I already knew what I wanted. I went and bought it. I got all the stuff, but like, do all deal? I mean, is it like an all dealer thing that will deliver your bike for you, or is that just like something that like it's just a courtesy if they feel like it?
I mean, most dealerships. I mean, the majority of dealerships have the ability to do it. So, if you're locally, it's
I was local. I was like,
nice.
Yeah.
If you're a beginner, the last thing they want you to do is hop on your brand new bike and then go out and then get hammered by a truck.
Yeah, that would be bad for everybody.
Right. So that they don't want that at all. So if you're brand new, then what we need to figure out is whether or not you're comfortable on it.
Yeah, I wasn't. And
if you didn't even have a motorcycle license, you went in, you bought the damn thing. So having them deliver it is great. And if it's a majority of dealerships will do that for you, because the last thing we want is for you to go out on your brand new bike and get.
Yeah. And then you wouldn't be a returning customer.
Yeah.
Because you'd be dead.
Yeah, man. We want you to come back. Damn. So yeah, and then that happens. So
cool.
For the majority of it, that's pretty much how we do it. So.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other stuff like getting warranties and getting like Gap, but that's a whole nother topic. We've been talking for 25 minutes.
I ain't talking about that.
Yeah, that is a lot of stuff. Yeah. But basically, to cliff note is that you walk in, the dealer, hopefully the salesperson, the dealer, they're knowledgeable. And they talk like Matt, where they want to get you the bike that you want. They don't want to just sell a bike because they just want to sell a bike. But definitely, it's also on the consumer. Honestly, you kind of have to know what you want to get. Like if you want to get, and that'd be a good thing to talk about, is having a checklist as a beginner rider going into a dealer, or even just as a new rider wanting a bike. What is it you want to do with it? How much experience do you have? And what are your plans with it? Just all those things. And then you can move on to a certain type of bike.
The hardest part about my job is trying to figure out what people really, really want. Like what the root want is, like what they really, really want, what the real issue is with things. What you really, really
want. It's a song, huh?
It is a song.
Oh, Monda, it's a song.
So
what you really, really want.
That's the hardest part, because some people don't know, but there's got to be something there to where you can help me figure it out to where this will work.
Yeah.
And like people, you wouldn't be here if you didn't want to buy the bike. We wouldn't be. So try to help your dealership help you out by telling them what it's going to take for you to get there.
There's so much more. That's the problem, is that there's so much more, and the whole live stream thing is more of an impromptu conversation type thing. Like, I think you guys understand that when I make those videos, I condense like a 30-minute topic into 10 minutes. This right here is a 30-minute topic that should have been over an hour. And
I mean, I could do it faster.
Yeah, you could do it faster.
So you walk in.
But I would have to slow you down.
No. You walk in.
You want to cliff note it? All right, cliff noting it. 1 second. Here we go. Cliff note.